Chelsea is the one side I feel maybe an outside of a shout for title challenges to some level, because they pushed on last season. Yes, they had a bit of a dip, but just looking at their transfers this summer, and Chelsea is known to bringing in loads of players, right? Are they looking stronger this time round, Carlton, you feel?
Yes, they're definitely looking stronger. They're definitely got a good balanced squad. I mean, I was worried about Maresca when he first came into the football club. It's proved me wrong. I thought he'd just be a yes man. He's been really tough. It's been really difficult for him the first period when he went in. If you look at Amorim and look at Maresca, the way Maresca has dealt with the situation at Chelsea, now he's putting a really, really good squad together. And they are, make no mistake, they are outside contenders for the league title. They really are.
Do you think you're outside contenders, Gary?
Well, I think definitely, because we can never predict exactly what's going to happen in the world of football. But if you look at Maresca when he came in a year ago, there was lots of question marks. Of course, you know, Graham Potter had been sacked, Pochettino had been sacked. There was doubts. There was huge numbers of players coming in, and Chelsea are still going through huge numbers of players. But when you look at what they've brought in, player-wise, and what it's cost, when you look at what they've actually spent as well, you know, there's not a huge differential there. There really isn't. You know, a really young squad of players, a huge amount of talent. And last season, at this stage of the season, I was slightly concerned as to whether the manager could mould it all together. And have a look at Chelsea's season. They finished 4th in the league. They won a European trophy. They've gone on and won the Club World Cup as well. So I think, you know, Chelsea fans have to look at this being a really positive time for them.
I think Enzo Maresca will certainly have to strike a finer balance this time round, because playing in the Champions League is going to be very different than playing in the Conference League for one. But are we finally seeing the progress that Todd Boehly has promised? When the ownership first took over, it was a very scattergun approach. Nobody could understand what they were trying to do in the transfer window with the big contracts and the young players. But with the past few seasons, we're seeing a core group now slowly forming under Maresca, and Maresca's the only manager so far that's been able to get a second season under the ownership. Are we seeing this master plan now finally coming to light, Carlton? Well,
whichever way they've gone about it, they've certainly got the right man in the job at the moment. They're getting a young squad together, a really young squad, players wanting to go there, like Delap, who Manchester United were after, and other clubs, Tottenham were after. He chose to go to Chelsea. He's got a young squad together. The way he's dealt with the situation is very impressive. Todd Boehly, you say the long contracts with the young players. I think he's done that to they've done that to get over the fair play. So they give the players, you know, the financial fair play, so they give the players a longer contract. Yeah, listen, everything seems to be coming together for them. As Gary said, they're finishing in the Champions League spot, and you quietly say it's going to be different this season with them playing in the Champions League. So they've rightly so, they've strengthened the squad, they've added players to the squad to have to deal with that situation. And let me tell you, they're an exciting side. He has high demands of the way that he wants his team to play, and we'll have to see, because you know, if too many people get caught up with Arsenal and Liverpool, which let's not kid ourselves about this, Liverpool are favourites, Arsenal are going to be second, having finished runners up, but you might find out Chelsea might come on the blind side.
Yeah, Chelsea unbeaten in the Premier League at home in this calendar year. So that's the back end of last season, and of course we're very early stages here. You know, so all that good work that was done last season at Chelsea, the rewards in the summer with the Club World Cup, and it seems like they're moving on from there.
But we'll have to see how they go today, Gal, because they were disappointing against Crystal Palace in the opening game. You know, and you look at Crystal Palace losing, you know, the players that they have done. So you would have been looking at that, listen, that's 3 points at home. But then they went and done a job on West Ham, which wouldn't be too hard at the moment. This will be a good insight at the game, because Fulham went and got a result there
last season.
Last season. And if you're talking about title contenders, they need to be winning their own games.
But in terms of a business sense for Todd Boehly, though, on the transfers, they've also been able to offload quite a number of their players for a decent amount of money as well. That probably ties into the way that they run things with the contracts and the finances. I just come to wonder, in a few years' time, whether Chelsea fans would actually prefer this ownership. Are there better foundations now that's been built under this ownership to see long-term dominant success with the way that they're recruiting, the way that they're offloading players, with the way that they're building? Because under Abramovich, yes, they've had success, but there was never sort of you can't really see a future with Chelsea because they were always just churning managers and getting ready-made players just to win the trophy for that season and move on.
Fans are not bothered. They're only bothered about one thing, winning. They just want to see the Premier League won, the Champions League won. That's all they're bothered about. So whichever way it's done, whether it's the Abramovich way or whether it's the Todd Boehly way, the supporters really don't. They won't give an iota. If they start losing football matches, they'll start complaining, even though behind the scenes the foundations are proper.
But do they have a better chance now to be a dominant side in this Premier League? Because Chelsea's never really been a dominant side.
Of course, they will have with the structure that they're putting in place. You know, I've always believed in youth. Yeah, you've got to have the balance between youth and experience, but I've always believed in youth, and we've gone away from that a little bit. And it's nice to see Liverpool, Arsenal throwing on these young players, because it's good to see the young players coming through.
Yeah, and time will tell, as Carlton mentioned earlier. But you know, somebody like Noni Madueke, who's left Chelsea and gone to Arsenal, presumably he's gone in that direction because he believes he's got a better chance of winning the Premier League at Arsenal this season than he did if he'd stayed at Chelsea.